Hello everybody, this is Sean and Paul Clark and welcome to another episode of Improve with Apollo. This is episode number 7 and today I have Neverland, or his real name is Marcus, who wants help within a PvP, of course, on Cloud Kingdom. This is going to be Protoss versus Protoss, but before we look into the game, I want to go ahead and bring up his email that he sent in. As we can see here, Marcus, 19 from Sweden, is a top platinum Protoss, facing mostly against high diamond. And here's the email. Hey Apollo, please help me. I'm thinking of switching race due to PvP. My Protoss vs Zerg and Protoss vs Terran are above 60%, and I can play well against top diamond, but this damn PvP is killing me. It's about around 30%, and I have no clue what I should do. I feel really insecure on when I should attack and when I should not. I get the feeling that I try to play too greedy, I get punished, and if I try to punish greedy players, then they just kill me. Thanks to weird situations. In the late game, it all feels like a coin toss. So in the replay I've attached, I take a huge lead holding off a 4-gate after stealing gas. Although he is the first to two bases, I feel far ahead. After some time, I feel like I'm overdoing Colossi. Alright, so I have to have a look at that. And that I need Grand Army to tank damage. Alright, I believe this was stupid. I'm going to have to look exactly at your army composition in the later stages to kind of narrow that down a little bit more. He just steamrolled me even though I had superior upgrades 2-3 against 3-0. I read the tips about dropping Immortals on top of Colossi to tank damage, which I did, but it didn't work out at all. My feedback as Mothership was a second away from Vortex. I just feel that with my lead I shouldn't have to rely on a perfect feedback before he can react. Please help me, Apollo. PvP is one thing that keeps me down in Platinum. Alright Marcus, well that's what I'm here to do, to help you out. So let's go ahead and jump into the game now. As we have, I just want to come back just to have a look quickly at the gateway timing. So that's one thing that you have to look at in PvP when trying to break it down and analyze it. Alright, so I'm going to put it to your vision. I'm going to play from your eyes. So you're going to be going, by the looks of it, for a 13 gateway, which is fine in PvP. I'm going to just see how things go down. Alright, so at your level, I do like to gateway scout. So with your probe here, especially now probes come in, I like to check around here. Sometimes you can check here as well, but I do like to check. Okay, good. Because at your level, I think you're going to run into a lot of proxy gateways. You're going to run into a lot of shenanigans. So this is really good for you to scout. Alright, I'm going to pause it. You're a little bit late with gas here. You can usually squeeze it in on 14. And I'll show you that before a probe is built. So let's build one more probe here at 14. And if I'm not mistaken, you can squeeze it in. Oh, you've sent out a drone scout, so maybe you can't. Okay, never mind. So just build another one. I forgot, when you send out a probe scout, you do lose a little bit of mining time. But right now, it's obviously at 75. You want to be getting that down now and strict with it. Just a little bit off, but not too much of a difference. Just at your level, though, I think that these small details, they should be perfected. There's no reason to be making mistakes whatsoever. Good check around in the main base again. Very, very safe play. I like it, Neverland. I like it. Alright, so now you're going to go scout. Found his probe inside your main base. It's fine. Into the gas of all 3. Okay, and cyber core down at a good time. Shift click back good. Build another probe. And you're in his base. Alright, so no probe being built, 75, 85, 90. Okay, good. A little bit late, but we get in there. Alright, so the first things you're going to look at here, compare the cyber core timing, right? So you go in, you say, alright, well, his is at 95, mine's at, oh god, 218. Well, that's late, so usually aggression isn't something that he'd be looking to do. You want to get the gas scout, so I don't think it's wise to move down like this. You want to stay in and get both the scouts, because both the scouts can tell a lot. Seeing double gases down, which you could have gone down by now, believes that he wants to attack, especially with the late Cybernet's core. Also, the fact that if there's only one, then it could lean towards a gateway expand or gateway aggression. Because his cyber core is so late, it usually would be gateway expand. You do not need to chase this probe, so I'm just going to come back and have a look at this. The reason why you don't need to chase this probe, I mean, what is it really? I mean, why do you need to chase it? You're never going to kill it. You're wasting a probe that should be mining, and it's not like you can deny scouting information, right? So you might as well just wait for a zealot to come out. So I'm just going back to 4:30 to this time at 3:30. You got a Zealot coming in. You're chrono boosted into the Nexus. You want to be taking a second gas if you're not going to play anything. So right now is the perfect time. Okay, goods. As I say that, I have to shut up. And you're going to go into Scout again. Alright, so you got 2 chrono boosts available. At this stage, you usually want to be throwing it into the Cybercore and the Gateway. Cybercore and Gateway for the Stalker. So you might want to wait until the Stalker's done. Depends what you're going to do with this. Okay, so that pylon there, you usually don't want to build that pylon then. You want to be building the Stalker first. Because basically, with building that pylon, you now can't build a Stalker. As you can see. And you're going to give him more time to scout you. So your Stalker's very, very late. And he could now essentially still be in your base with a probe and scouting you for a lot longer because the Zealot's never going to catch up with a probe. So I think that's a little bit of a mistake there. On the other hand, we come in, we scout the 2 gases down. We see no second gas. For me, at my level, this seems like a Gateway expand. He's got Chrono Boost available. He's not throwing it into the Cybercore. For me, it's a Gateway expand. Another pylon down inside the main base, absolutely. So for me, I'm like, alright, well, I guess he's just going to go 2-gate expand. Your level, that could mean something different. I guess it really depends on patterns and trends that you see at your level. What are you doing here? I guess that's going to be Robo. Oh, not sure. Alright, so you opt to steal his gas. Okay, cool. So you steal his gas, and you get out. So, to be honest, I'm not too sure if stealing the gas is a wise thing to do. If you think about it, why did you steal the gas? What exactly does that tell you? Is he going to tech? Well, to be honest, not really, because he's already thrown down a bunch of gateways, 2 gateways. He's very late on gas. And even if he was to tech, you should be quite happy about that, because you are really far ahead in terms of gases. So if he throws down a gas now, and you didn't do this, and then he decides to tech, great, because his Robo is going to be really late. His Twilight Council upgrade is going to be really late. And you're going to have an advantage because yours is faster. Also, while being safe. Unfortunately, the Sentry got stuck. And this is very, very dangerous. And even if you destroy the pylon, you're still locked in there. So that's a bit of a mistake there. But I'm not going to hold it against you. Mistakes happen. Alright, so now we leave with the probe. So I'd be thinking now, even without the gas being taken, because the gas I don't think makes too much sense to steal. You either steal it early on or not at all, because he hadn't taken it. So he has 2 options now. He throws down 2 gateways to go for a 4-gate and attack, or he throws down an expansion. So if those are the 2 options, my probe here, if I can, I try and run away from the Stalker. For example, come over here. If you come over here, and that Stalker doesn't see you, I'd wait roughly 30 more seconds, and then I'd go in again, and I'd check for the expansion. And then that, basically, you've already narrowed down 2 pathways on which he's going to go down, by his lack of gas. And now you get the confirmation on one of them to lead to the other. So this probe now, I would hide it, and then I'd go in at like 540. So if I pause it now and show you, because I think you could have done it. Now, I'd go in, and I'd start my movement out now, and it would go dun, 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 dun. Maybe we'd get behind this Stalker. Maybe. You know, it's a potluck chance, maybe. And we'd see no expansion, and you're like, alright, great. Time to defend. Alright, so I'm going to rewind it a minute, and look back to where we were before. Alright, so this is where we were as the Sentry was stuck. We have a probe hidden in our base, which is very, very dangerous. I don't know how that actually happened, so I'm going to look even further back into this. So the probe was running around. It came in here to hide. You chased it around for a while. Oh, it went out and back in. So let me just double check. So the probe's in. You come to find it. You find it. You chase around, chase around, chase around, chase around, and then you realize, I guess, it's a waste of time. And you go back to mining. Alright, so he goes out. Okay, he doesn't really go, he just goes in. Alright, so with the Zealot, as soon as it pops at this stage, is the first thing you do is go check around. You check around the base of the Zealot, because you don't need the Zealot right now. All it's going to do is stand there, right? So I'd move around, and that's what I'd be doing with that Zealot. That's what you should be doing with the Zealot initially. Meanwhile, of course, let's focus on getting back to where we were when the Stalker, the probe were out. So on the minimap, I see the probe now out. Alright, so this is where we were. So the robots come down, great. If he's going to 4-gate you, then you could be in danger, right? Because you don't have a Sentry to force field. You're building 2 more Stalkers. You are in a little bit of danger, but his is very late. His 4 gate's very late because the 3rd pylon was down. His chrono boost didn't really use it in the warp gate research very much. Alright, so got to be careful here moving out with units like this. His warping's at a very minimum is going to be coming in at 615. Alright, you got 3. You find the probe, you find a pylon. Good for you. I'd probably kill the probe first because he can easily build down another pylon. But you kill that off. Alright, and now we've got the Immortal almost out. He's only got 3 Stalkers, and you got 3 Stalkers and a Zealot. You're kind of busting out gateways because you want to build some stuff. At this time, always, when you're kind of in the panic mode of building units, make sure that you're in panic mode, and that panic mode makes you build a pylon. If you can make your panic build a pylon, then you're in good shape, because what you'll see happen is you'll get pylon blocked. Look, 41 out of 42. This happens to a lot of people, even at the higher level too. So if you can, translate panic into pylon, then you can actually survive a lot easier, because now you can't get a second Immortal and so on. There you go, there's your pylon. But with an Immortal out, you're going to defend most of this. You've even got enough units to chase. And you are going to defend against his 4 gate, as mentioned. So now you've defended against his 4 gate, is that, to be honest, you should be building an Observer at this stage. You've got an Immortal out. I'd say build an Observer because you should have a sentry with your army. You can always force field as well. But I'd still go at this time to build an Observer. The reason why you want to build an Observer is because you want to know his follow-up. He's got a lot of chrono boost available, so is that going to be used into probes now? Is it going to be used into more gateway units? At the same time, if you do want to play it safe, a second Immortal's fine. But with a sentry coming down, I think you have enough time to build an Observer. I do not like you being on the ramp. If you're on the ramp here, one force field cuts you in half and you lose, half your army, and then you lose the other half and then the game. So always up the ramp. There's no need to be on the ramp. Okay, good. You've got a force field now. You're going to chrono boost out an Immortal. This is not bad, but I would have preferred an Observer, I think, here. So the Immortal's coming down. Absolutely 100% an Observer behind this. And then expand. So let's just come back a bit. Alright, so you go for the Immortal. I want to look at this fight, which is why I want to come back. So here he comes now. You pick off the Zealot. And then force field. You could probably, to be honest, knowing this is a 4 gate here, Marcus, if this was me, my force field would be like, come on Stalkers, come on Stalkers, come on Stalkers, come on Stalkers, bam! That's what I'd do. Don't run away. Don't run away. You got 2 Immortals. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. 2 Immortals and so many Stalkers that you have, you are going to absolutely dominate every single unit there. No doubt. I guess you can be a little bit worried about him warping in the high ground, but you still have 3 gateways. So let's have a quick look at this a little bit closer. So at this very point, even if he was to warp in 3 Zealots on the high ground, right? Or 4 Zealots, he would lose every single Stalker, and then you'd clear up everything anyway. So, to be honest, my force field, even though you know about this pylon coming down, still there, right here. It as close as you can get it, maybe like here without messing up the force field. And then you'd pick off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Stalkers, probably. I wouldn't run away. I'd definitely plant the force field and destroy, because 2 Immortals, you will destroy any amount of Stalkers. But you are going to pick off this pylon anyway, which is good. You could have, put the force field there and then done that. But you're going to push this back. Now's the Observer time. Absolutely. There's no way he's breaking through. So you've got to think past what you are in right now. You've got to think what happens after this. So build an Observer and expand. There's no way he's going to break you. 4 gate doesn't work against Immortals. But you build... Oh, you've got a robotics bay. When did that even come down? I wasn't looking at the production tab. Alright, let's have a quick look at your robotics bay. When does this come in? I really don't think that's actually needed. When do you do that? Okay, here. To be honest, you don't need the Robo Bay early on. Because you want, if you're throwing a Robo Bay down early on here, Marcus, what that means is that you're going to have to use it. Otherwise, why did you build it? As simple as that. So if you build it, then you're going to have to get a Colossus or Thermal Lance or Warp Prism or something. But to be honest, at this stage, you have to be looking to expand. A good way to punish a player that 4 gates isn't to go and tech up further. It's to say, hey buddy, bad move, expand. So this is a mistake, especially because you're not even sure what's coming still. You're not 100% certain. So that Robo is a mistake here, and now if that wasn't there, this is where you go and expand. So build your observer instead of this Colossus, which you queue up, and then go expand. Because without the observer, you don't really know what's going on. And what is going on, especially now that the Stalkers are there, he's absolutely going to expand. Absolutely. There's the expansion, and that's pretty obvious. And you need to expand yourself. So upon seeing Stalkers back at home and the Zealot, you now know that he's not out your natural. So you need to be really, really fast with this. And okay, you are going to do it. Good. And now you can move out with your units. To be honest, with the Colossus, and I'm not going to pretend that you didn't build the Robo Bay and I'd play from there. Now you've got the Colossus out, is when you actually start to move out. But he doesn't have Blink. I would move to the Xel'Naga Tower with my army right now. Because you have a superior army. He needs to feel threatened, otherwise he's going to cut corners to catch up because he is behind in this game, right? So if we want to look at everybody's vision here, Marcus, let's have a quick look. So his army is relatively small. He's got a Zealot and a Pylon out there. If you march down now, you kill the Zealot, you kill the Pylon with your army, and then you move out at the same time. You'd meet this Zealot. He's got to be panicking. He's on 4 gateways. He's got nothing. He's just warping in gateway units because he's expecting this as well. So I would move out. You've now seen his army, and I just move out to the Xel'Naga Tower and back. The Xel'Naga Tower would or should be controlled by him. He would know you were coming. He'd have to warp in more units. He'd be panicking. More pylons. Wouldn't be teching up very fast, such as the Robo Bay or Robotics Facility. And then just come back and so on. Right now, though, that's what I would have done. What you should be doing at this point in time is building a lot of probes. So in the production tab, 2 probes need to be out all time. Forge is not needed. Do not need this forge. I do not know why you have the forge, because you do not need to tech up with a forge. You don't need to increase the attack of your army. It's already strong. What you need to do is get the gases down to build more gateways, to build a new robo. At this point, when you're about to expand and are expanding, the logical thing you need to do is say, I'm in a good position. Let's take the gases on the natural and let's chrono boost out probes. Behind that, I'll start to bank money. I want to keep Colossus production consistent. I do also want to throw down gateways. And then, while you're doing this, is that observer needs to be scouting out everything. So through your eyes, once again, you see, alright, he's chrono boosting to the Nexus, he's playing from behind, he's got a gateway army, cool. I'd poke in the main now, of course, with the observer, and be like, right, well, where's his tech at? How far behind is he, realistically, in this game? How far behind? Is he just throwing it down? Has it been there for a while? Has he got an Immortal coming out already? Is it going to be an Observer? These kind of questions. We see he's taken 4 gases. We need 4 gases. Good. You've got Chrono Boost on the natural, needs to be in probes. You've got Chrono Boost in the main, needs to be in probes. Do not Chrono Boost Robo, do not Chrono Boost Cybercore, do not Chrono Boost Forge. You Chrono Boost in the Robo. Why? Why would you Chrono Boost the Robo? Right now, think about it. If you're Chrono Boosting the Robo, you're trying to get a new Colossus out faster. Why? You already got the tech advantage. You already got 1 Colossus. You've already got 2 Immortals. You need more probes because you need more gas. On the natural, you've taken the gases, but look at your probe count. If you take away 6 probes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and put them in the gases, you now only have 7 probes mining minerals, and you're only at 35 probes behind him. So sure, you've got your tech advantage, a massive tech advantage. Look in the unit tab. Massive, 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 but you do not have the economy advantage because you're a little bit slow with your expansion. So make sure to chrono boost into the Nexus, which is another reason why you don't need the Forge, because usually you just want to be spending the chrono boost in the Forge. So you chrono boost now, you got the double robo down. You can't support double robo with 36 probes. No way. You'll notice that now you won't have enough minerals to build double Colossus. You won't have enough minerals to throw down this. You're chrono boosting into the Forge, which isn't necessary. You're not focusing too much on your probe production. The main base is saturated here. You want to waypoint your Nexus down here. I'm a little bit worried, though, about this gateway. To be honest, at this now you've got the freedom to do whatever you want. I think if you waypoint down, your pros may get stuck with the sentry. So you want to destroy this gateway here, allow the sentry to come out, and just rebuild the gateways, because it might cause a problem with probe waypoints too. And that seems to be your biggest flaw in this game at the moment. Alright, so let's just fast forward a little bit and see what comes of this. You do see his robotics facility, and I think you saw another robo, right? Okay, so you see double robo. That's fine. You have 2 choices right now. The choice I would take here, Marcus, is, you know, like I said, continue to chrono boost probes, and I'd most likely take a 3rd base. I'd build not off 3 gateways. like I said, get your Colossus down, get your probe count high up to 50 as fast as you can. You're at 40 to 46. Throw down 3 more gateways, and then take a third base. You are right now at an advantage in Protoss versus Protoss. You have an army advantage. You should have, or should be, at a good equal economy, which, by the way, you're oversaturating your main base now with continue to waypoint there. In PvP, it's very, very difficult to lose at an advantageous position, because defender's advantage is so good here. Positional play is what wins games. So if you're in an advantage position, he needs to do something to you, but you're going to be in position with your army. Therefore, he has to come to you and has to attack you. If he doesn't attack you, you increase your lead further. And now he has to fight an uphill battle against a superior army without position on a third base location. So that's why you should be looking to expand. And from that expansion, you can go Twilight Council down. I'd be adding on 3 gateways, like I said, to 6 gateways, 2 Robo. I then build the Nexus and a Pylon. I then build Twilight Council. I go +2, or however you want to play this out. Wait, you got a Twilight Council down? Wait, am I blind? What's going on here? Wait a minute. Let me play this. Okay, no, you didn't get +1. I thought that was +2 for a minute. I don't think you really need armor. I prefer attack. The reason why, I mean, the thing is, when you're going for an army of this, you're going to have so much firepower, is you just want that firepower to destroy everything as fast as possible. You don't need to focus on trying to survive. You just want to obliterate his army there and there. So get +1 attack, get a Twilight Council, like I was getting a little bit confused there, get the Nexus, then a Twilight Council and get +2, get the Temporal Archives. As you take the gases on the third base, you can add Archons in and so on and so on. And that's how I'd play this out. I probably want to build another Observer, just to kind of get more scanning information. You want to be going, you don't want to, you know, be cutting corners around Colossus. You want to be going for 8 Colossus as fast as you can, while building Gateway Army. You've got 600 minerals, they're the 3 gateways I talked about, bam, bam, bam. And that's something that you're starting to miss upon, I think, at the moment. You have no idea if he's expanding or not. You don't know his army composition. You don't know if he's come up this left-hand side. You don't know if you're about to be flanked. You don't really have too much vision. So the resolvement to this is usually, as a probe, you want to be going out. I would have expanded by now in this game because it is getting quite late. I would have then sent the probe along here, pylon here, pylon here, pylon here, and just pylon around where he could walk and blindside you, right? So you have to be cautious about army movement. Like I said, position is everything, and you're out of position. Your army right now clumped up. If his Colossus army somehow came from this left-hand side and attacked you, you're dead. There's no way. He would have better position. He'd be like Zealot, 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 Stalker, 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 Sentry, Sentry, Immortal, Immortal, Colossus, Colossus, and then we go bam. One thing you can note here, look. What's that? It's an Observer. You can see it. If you can't see it, it's there. Look closer. So with an Observer there, is you don't have one with your army. So you always want one with your army, and you also want one out. Scouting out for a third base. Your Zealot's going to go down and check for a third base. Sees nothing. Okay, sees a probe there now. He's taking a third base. Why is he taking the initiative to move out to a third base before you? Why? He's at a disadvantage. That should never be the case. You should have been there a lot faster. You're still only at 3 gateways. Your Twilight Council's coming down, as I mentioned, which is good. But you're only at 3 gateways. You can't reinforce your army very fast here. You've got the money to do so. You're just not using it at the moment. You've got a lot of Colossus now. 8 Colossus. Good. You're going up to 10. But you need a lot more army. Ground army. Alright, so let's pass forward again. So all these mistakes right now are starting to give him an advantage back into the game. You have no pylon on the left-hand side here, like I mentioned. And he could come in and snipe the Nexus and get out. You don't have enough gateways. Only adding on 1 is really, really bad. Unless that's one up there. Okay, it's Stargate. 4 gateways at 18 minutes here, Marcus. You need to be at like 10 more. Because you want to be warping in. You want to be getting a Zealot charge. You want to get him Blink. Stargate coming down really early on, which is fine. That's not a problem to go up for this mothership really on. But your gateway count is so low. 4 gateways. If he attacks you, what you reinforce him with? 4 gateways, 4 Zealots, 4 Stalkers? Another gateway. 2 gateways, 6 gateways now. Still very, very low. Double Forge. Still don't really know what's going on in this game. You haven't scouted. You haven't looked if he's out of position. You haven't got any information on the left-hand side, the right-hand side. You're playing this very, very dark. You're blind. You don't know what's really going on. And because of all these mistakes, and you know, gateway here, gateway there, you've got blindsided, as I mentioned. And now you're being pulled out of position. You're going to kill every single zealot there. That is great news. That's a lot of money wasted. You got a lot of Colossus. You're missing... Oh, let's have a look at your army composition. Because like I said, army composition is everything in PvP. Your army composition right now, 8 zealots, 3 immortals, 10 Colossus, 12 stalkers, 3 sentries. Okay. I get rid of 1 sentry and I'll keep 2. 2's okay. Oh, you've only got 2 because 1's in the main base. Okay, that's fine. You're missing Archons. You've got enough Colossus. Okay, as I say that, you move up in the high tempo. Good. Your gateway count is still low, but you're going to be the one moving out now. But the thing is, you don't know what you're really looking at. You don't know what he's got, what he hasn't got. Has he got a mothership? Is he not? Where is he? You're getting distracted by 4 zealots over here. You're building cannons. Your mid game and late game is really bad because you're just not addressing the scenario you've been put into. You just kind of go into autopilot. Why would you attack? I mean, what is the reason? You need a reason to attack. I mean, the reason I would give you right now is most likely because you have a mothership out and you're hoping he doesn't. That would be my guess. But you don't know if he's got a 4th. You don't know where his army is. You're going to fight uphill. He's got a 4th base we found out now, which you should have kind of been, you know, scouting around for. And this seems to be your biggest problem at the moment, Marcus. You're going to pick off a 4th base. You're at 200 supply. You've got good upgrades. And let's have a look at the end fight, because that's what you want to know. And finally, you're getting some extra gateways down, because you need to be able to reinforce. You do not have Zealot Charge, and you do not have... Oh, you do have Blink. Okay, Zealot Charge is going to be important. Picking up the Immortals is not needed. It's definitely not needed, because they're 2 Immortals that actually don't do anything, because as soon as they land, they die. So you want them at the back of the army. They're Immortals. If you have the Zealots at the front, you're going to be in a lot better shape. And let's have a look at your army composition once again. 7 Zealots, 12 Stalkers, 10 Colossi. To be honest, I don't think you need to... He's got 16 Colossus! Good God. That's a lot of Colossus. Mothership each. Okay, let's have a look at the fight. Your army composition is not bad. You've got, I think, too many Colossus. I would have liked a few more Archons in there. Alright. Because the Colossus 6 supply, you know, it's a lot of supply. His army comp, let's have a look. Is nothing but Colossus, and that's a bad army composition at this stage of the game. Because Colossus are so weak that he's got nothing to tank for them. Alright, let's position though. He's got position. Look at you. You're coming at this angle, which means his attack is going to be in this, right? And then you're going to face the full burst of the Protoss army. 1, 2, 3. And your army's going to go die, die, die. Unless you come in from an angle. So I'm going to watch this very closely. You do have a high Templar for feedback. You need to spread out. You need to come here and up to here too. Guardian Shield must be activated. He's waiting for you to come. To be honest, if anything, it's going to be in the Warp Prism. It should be the High Templar. Alright, you're still looking for position. You're very clumped up. And now you attempt the Immortal drop. Let's have a look a little bit closer in. He's got no Archons whatsoever. Alright, let's pause this down. Alright, pause. Look at your clump. Look at your clump. Look at your clump. It doesn't matter about his armor upgrades if it's all about burst damage, which I mentioned is why you always want to be focusing on attack rather than armor. Your army needs to be spread thin. Your Zealots are at the back. Look what's at the front of your army. Stalkers. You need to get the Zealots at the front here. You need to bring half this army down this location if you're going to fight here. And you need to spread out across this. I want to point at the screen. Where my cursor is, to the top right. So bottom left of this box to top right of this box is where you need to be spread out. In this kind of diagonal line. You got 2 Immortals that are not in the fight. Your sentries at the front. You have no Guardian Shield. You're going to get sucked in by a Vortex. You don't land a Vortex either. And now you've just lost already 40 supply. A massive deficit in this game. And you've just... He hasn't lost anything, and you're about to lose everything. Everything goes in the Vortex now, and you're dead. Because he's got so much burst damage. 15 Colossus will destroy everything now. And that's, watch this, everything will just die. He'll probably not even drop supply. To be honest, he should be, you know, coming a bit more angled at this, but Guardian Shield activated. Hello, army. Burst damage, burst damage. You just lost absolutely everything. Double Vortex, and you just got dominated in that fight. And it wasn't even close. All the units lost time, just absolutely one-sided. And that was more so of engagements than anything else. Your engagements, your angle, was the reason why you lost that fight. But to be honest, the real story of this improve here, Marcus, is the 10-minute mark. Here. This is the real story. You put, and as I did, I mapped it out with the gateways added on, the robo added on, the observer, scouting. You need to feel what's right in the game. You need to scout, feel what's right. What is he doing? Where is he moving? What's his army composition? What's his gateway count? What's his forge count? Is he upgrading a forge? Is he not? All these small details build up the right time for you to attack. And that was more so the mistake in this game than anything in the later stages. Because once you start to feel out your opponent more, scout out more, feel him, you'll be able to develop a stronger mid-game. Your mid-game and late-game, your late-game necessarily isn't weak, it was more so the mid-game. Your early game was good. I mean, you defended this 4-gate, you pushed it back, you got a good setup, but you need to be faster with your expansion. Sort out your scouting more, and then I think you're going to have a lot more success in this matchup. You know, have a look at the Protoss tutorials as well. Look at the PvPs. Look how I scout. I think on episode number 2 or 1, I'm not sure which one it is, but there's a PvP on Daybreak where I defend against aggression, and then I look at how I scout with the observer. I go in, I poke in, I read how I'm going to play this game out, and then I finish it up. I think there's a second one on episode number 2, another PvP on Ohana as well. Another one to look at. How I build my... I actually mention a lot of your mistakes. I mention how to scout, how to... read your opponent, when to add gateways, when to expand, when to timing, when to not, you know, advantages, riding advantages, and I definitely recommend you to check that out. So Marcus, thank you for sending in your replay here. I hope I helped you out in breaking down where things went wrong and then showing you how to set up a late game army, and I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope everybody else does as well, and thank you for sharing this, because every Protoss player here that struggles with the same thing or that you are struggling with are thankful to you. So thanks once again, guys. Thanks for watching, and until the next time, this has been Sean, Apollo Clark, signing off.